Apparently this is a braai broodjie. I don't call this a braai. I call this a toasted sandwich.
Talking about the problems, but also showcasing the solutions to those problems.
Yeah.
And just like, even if it's giving a sandwich or...
Not this. I don't know. The health inspectors. Did you know that you can't, as a charity, give food anymore?
So like Justin's braai broodjies you could give to people.
You can't.
But they're dry.
They are very dry.
Yes. Welcome to the very first episode of our brand new vodcast, FireStarters. I'm Karen Campion, COO of Aeon's Creative Technology, aka the Do Everything bitch. With me is our CEO, Mitch Adams, the man, the myth, the legend. Mitch, I'm going to level with you. I really don't have time to be doing this. I have a lot of work that I need to get to. Why are we here?
Well, firstly, I pay you to be here. Secondly, let me pour you a quick brandewijn here quickly, but first I must teach you how to do brandewijn when you open up a bottle.
Okay.
Right. I
Yes.
haven't had a brandewijn in like, I don't know how long.
I haven't had a brandewijn. I had one at an EFC fight the other night because that was all that was
Because
there.
that is where you have brandewijn.
Yeah.
At
And I
EFC
did feel
fights.
very aggressive after. So I'm a bit worried about
They call it
this.
lampolie or karate juice. I don't know why
Oh.
we do this as colors, and I'm probably gonna hurt myself here. But you have to like hit it like that, and then you watch the bottle, the bubbles come up.
Okay.
It's called breaking the bottle, but you don't actually break the bottle.
Yes.
You only do that at the end when you start to fight. So when you go to a braai, right? You clap in a few brandewijns, you clap in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 beers, and you're getting into conversation with everybody. Everybody's complaining. Everybody comes in with fresh complaints to the braai. Stand around the fire, complain. Everybody can work at the airport there. And essentially, what that comes down to is some sort of solutions coming through. Yeah, you know what the government should do? They should do this and do that. And everybody's like, yeah. Like you have a whole Congress going on there. We could all be presidents at the same time. And what happens in the end is you go home, you drive into the pothole on your way home, the same thing you were complaining about, and came up with solutions with it. Now you're all pissed off, and you go home, sleep, wake up in the morning, nothing's changed, your tire's flat, your rim's damaged, and at the next braai you're going to complain again about how you drove into a pothole.
And nothing solved.
And nothing solved. So initially this was supposed to be called the braai. That's like, it was going to be a podcast called The Braai because I'm always talking about come to braais, but what we actually want to do is call it FireStarters now.
Okay, so to light a fire under the proverbial bum of South Africans.
That's what I'm
in a
calling
South
my
African
bum.
way.
From now on it's called the proverbial bum. I'm going to wipe my proverbial bum.
You're no stranger to starting fires and burning buns. You've burnt many a bun at my house. And you've started a few businesses. You failed at a few.
Yes, thanks for reminding me.
You've succeeded at a few.
Yeah.
One of the ones, the one that you have succeeded, we're succeeding now. You co-founded very successful instant EFT platform called Ozo.
Also, yeah.
Yeah. And you started it because you were solving for a problem. What problem were you solving
Problem that people were complaining about.
for? Which
In
was?
fact, well, look, I don't think people even knew it was a problem. So when we came into the space, there were about, I'm going to say less than 10 million online shoppers. I think it was even lower than that, like 6, 5 even.
Yeah.
Very little people shopping online. And I mean, this is
2014.
2014,
Yeah.
it's quite futuristic, right? We should have been on the internet by now.
So to sum it up, if somebody had to say in 2 sentences, what problem did you solve for?
Access,
Access.
online access. After the results of what happened after we started our business and went through everything. I don't even have a thing on Instagram. Check out my Instagram. I think we went up to 27 million online shoppers now.
Wow.
Yeah, from like less than 10. And that's because people that didn't have credit cards before can now use their bank accounts, because you actually have to put in, it's a push payment, it's not a pull payment. The other way the payment works is they pull in the money from you. This is they're pushing it. More people can go online and also accept payment in an automated way, because they don't have to go through the whole banking process of trying to get a credit card account of people. So we just made the process incredibly easy and accessible to anybody and everybody, which allowed a lot of people to come online. And I think a massive jump happened, and we were best positioned when COVID hit.
Yes.
Because everybody had to go digital.
Yeah.
And if we were only thinking to solve the problem at that time, we would have come out of COVID, and then only the companies are coming out. We were already geared up and came through. A lot of competitors came through after us.
Doesn't matter. I mean, you were, you were first to market. You had to battle through all of those.
Exactly.
And you caught the wave at the right time on your little bodyboard.
Essentially.
Turn over the sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sausage. It's a wors.
Sorry, wors.
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 Yeah, wors.
Talking about all of these problems in South Africa and how we're addressing them, or how we hope to address them, we have our very own friend from Delhi.
No, Delhi dancer.
The Delhi dancer.
Yeah.
Mr. Ardendu Patri.
Yeah.
Who's out in the field asking real South Africans,
Not fake ones.
not fake ones, not genuine South Africans, about the problems and in South Africa and what really pisses them off.
Essentially putting in the firelighter right now.
Yes, he's essentially putting that firelighter in. How right you are, Mitch.
This is how we start a braai.
This is how we start a braai.
What really pisses you off about South Africa?
The inconsistency of delivering of services.
Load shedding. It's horrible.
Load shedding.
Horrible. The corruption is skyrocketing. It's something that we know.
Poverty.
Roads, railways, transport, systems, things not working and not being maintained.
Car guards.
Load shedding.
Activism.
Potholes.
Home affairs. Offline at home affairs.
The worst, renewing your car license.
Passport renewal for kids that is only 5 years.
I think on this journey though, so we've been going now since March last year, and it hasn't always been easy. I think, we went through a period at the beginning of the year where we thought we were going to close. We were going to shut down. Day 81. Yeah, it's the 9th of January. So it's day 81.
So we have to break the news to them today that 30 minus 9 days from now, it's the end of days for us, unless something changes in that time.
And we called this period Project G Cliff. So we had 90 days until we reached the end of this cliff.
Yeah, well, it was a cliff. It was a corporate cliff.
It was a corporate cliff.
It was actually Project Corporate Cliff, which would have been C Cliff, but for some reason
I put a G in there.
for Gareth Cliff.
I did,
right?
yeah. Today, Mitch broke the news to the team of hashtag 90 days Project G Cliff. Bit of a mixed reaction. Initially, I think there was a lot of panic and anxiety, but I think that there is enough positivity in the team that we will make this work and we will see this through and something will come through. What for you was the hardest thing, just in one sentence, in the hardest thing about the Aeon's journey?
The hardest thing definitely, and it's still people management, because even though I'm at a point where you can almost say it's philanthropy, but it's not really. but I want to help people. I'm not chasing money. It's not the everyday struggle. It's like there's a bigger focus on this. Anybody that comes in, it's just me, my goals, what I want to achieve. They're not thinking of the bigger country. They'll complain about the issues, the load shedding, the potholes, all of that. But only how it affects them. And that's as far as it goes. No fixing it. I mean, that's why we're doing FireStarters, right? Stop the complaining and let's move forward towards solutions together in that mind state. So changing people's mind states, and it's almost a given. It's a default setting. Everybody comes in with that default setting. It's really refreshing when you find somebody that doesn't have that default setting. Now, everybody that works in corporate thinks they above this employee chain thing, but they're not. They think they can break out of a corporate job and come into fun startup land and it's going to be great and they'll perform well. But really, all they care about is, am I achieving my KPIs? What are my KPIs that I must achieve? Not what's best for the business. What does the business need? How do I achieve the goals? Everybody's salaries needs to be paid at the end of the day. You work for a big bank, you're going to get your salary regardless, right? You work in a small business, you guys, as your 5 people, you need to work together to make sure revenue comes in at the end of that month. Revenue doesn't come in at the end of that month, somebody's not getting paid. You know, so you have to protect your well-being as a tribe together. Everybody's
It's an important cog in this.
Well, yeah, but I'm just, it's the well-being, right? They're trying to protect their well-being, like me and my family. So in your selfishness of protecting that, understand, if you don't achieve and bring value in the business, you are threatening your livelihood at home. So don't threaten your livelihood, don't threaten the livelihoods of the people around you. Work together with them to ensure everybody's livelihood is intact. That for me is the biggest issue, is to get people's mind states to that point. How do you get it there? All I can do is just tell stories. That's what I try and do and give encouragement. People say, oh, I'm so encouraging. Oh, wow, no, great story. I can relate to that. And that's also the great part, that people can relate. I didn't come from wealth. I didn't do anything like that. But it lasts so long. They drink the Kool-Aid. It's like beer. You clap it, chug it down, driving that pothole, back in that same mind state again. So it's the constant doing that, and it takes a lot of energy out of a person,
And I think that's one of the reasons that we want to do this, is that everybody loves to complain, and we're all facing the same thing. What I love about South Africa is that we've got this great collective sense of humor, that when we do come together, we can all laugh about it, and we can, make fun of it. And this is what this show's about, right? Is talking about the problems, but also showcasing the solutions to those problems.
Yeah.
And just even if it's giving a sandwich or
not this, I don't know, the health inspectors.
It's just like eating. It's like eating a cigarette. Like the cheese isn't even melted.
It's not melted at all.
No. Oh. It's very dry.
That's why we have braai.
That's true.
Did you know that you can't, as a charity, give food anymore?
What? What do you mean?
You can't give food because of health inspection stuff. No, because food might be contaminated or something. So you have to give them monetary stuff or like a dry, uncooked product. You can't actually get there.
So like Justin's braai brokies you could give to people.
You can't.
But they're dry.
They are very dry.
Yes.
What was the most difficult thing for you going through that? Well, you said of the running the business, or was it going through that period of time?
No, so I think for me the biggest issue has been finding like-minded people and finding people that want to be with us on this journey.
Hardest thing to deal with was clients, and making clients happy and dealing with very difficult people and different personalities, different ways of working, different ways of communicating, different egos, and it's rough. So yeah, that has been very difficult. And startups, you have to be very fluid and very agile and very open to one day you're going to be going this way, the next day you're going to be going that way, the following day your name's going to change. So yeah, it sadly hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out with a few things, with a few people, with a few companies, and we're still here to tell the tale, and hopefully we'll still be here at the end of this 90 days. And yeah, so lots of stuff that we have to do.
And so for me, it's been very difficult to, particularly with you on board as well, because you're such a nice guy.
Yeah, that's douchey.
And so you can't really tell where you're at with you all the time. And people take advantage of that. So you've got a Midas touch, you do.
But you have to let people take advantage of you. It's like a car accident. If somebody tells you to avoid a certain road or avoid something, or they're like, I got a premonition, I was walking down the road and it came straight down to me. And they said, don't go left, because you're going to get the accident. And then you don't go, and you don't get into an accident. How would you know if that guy was right or not? You would have to say, screw this guy, I'm going left, get into an accident, come back to the guy and say, you were right.
Yeah, for sure. But I think, I don't know. Maybe it's more of a feeling that you get, but you know when people are in it for themselves and in it for something that's greater.
For me, people are always in it for themselves. To be honest, I see that in everybody. They're in it for themselves.
It's human nature to protect yourself and to protect your loved ones, right?
Yes.
But if you're like Forrest Gump and you're running and people join you on that, that's you know that they're in it for the collective good. They're like, this is boring, I'm gonna go home.
But that takes time. So
yeah,
it takes time. There's history involved in it. Forrest Gump had to give out some. People were just running there. That one guy got the bumper sticker from him. All of that. They joined in a movement. Another thing you can watch online if you want to. How to Start a Movement. It's a TED Talk. It's about a 5-minute thing. They say the leader that starts everything is a lone nut. Everybody just looks at that person. The guy's crazy for doing that stuff. And then you get that first follower, and the first follower validates the lone nut.
okay.
And then the first follower influences other people. Like, well, I know this person and that person, so you my follower. I'm the nut, you the follower. You've influenced other people. Like, Karen seems to have a head screwed on straight. Mitch, not so much. But if Karen thinks there's something in this, but then maybe I should come on board. And then you got the following building from that. So the most important player in everything is the first follower and not the lone nut of what they're doing.
But if we didn't have the lone nut, we wouldn't have anything to follow.
It's an ecosystem. Yeah.
So thank you for being the
Thank
lone
you for
nut.
being the first follower. Delcom came back to us on Tuesday with a message, and unfortunately we didn't get it. So realistically looking at it, was a long shot. Kieran and myself, I think we must apologize to you guys then. So one, because we actually knew this news since the 1st of February. They told us. And for the other one, that I'm talking because we got them. Yes.
Okay, so talking about the wealth divide, and we're talking about AEX particularly because I think it's a really cool thing that you came up with. Can you tell us a bit about what made you think of the idea and why we've built it the way we've built it? Firstly, what is it?
It is a blockchain, privatized blockchain, where we can put real world assets on that and then fractionalize it to the point where you can even spend a cent and you get a piece of thing.
But
the same way.
you can't now because there's no
'Cause
sense.
it makes no sense
It
to
makes
do
no
that.
sense, yeah.
So, if you look at how Bitcoin works in general, there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin in existence. There will always only be that certain amount. Not like America, where they just, we need more money, and then they print more money. That's the amount of Bitcoin that will ever exist, and you have a piece of a Bitcoin when you buy stuff. That's why you see like the price of a Bitcoin is like 64 million rand or whatever. But you can still buy Bitcoin with 1,000 rand because you're just buying a fraction of that. So essentially, you buy a fraction of this real world asset. On our side with Bitcoin, that's all based on speculative value. So that's why the value is volatile. So one day, not even one day, 1 minute, the price is here, the next minute the price is rock bottom. With a real world asset, that value stays for a longer period of time. It can move up and down, but it's a lot slower in its movement. And the initial thing that we've chosen to go with is shares in a company. Mainly because we want to solve unemployment, right? And unemployment, according to stats and what we've seen, can be solved by SMEs. Because every SME on average can create 14 jobs while they're still small. But if I look at what we did with Ozo, create like 150 jobs. So we helping these businesses. That's the Aeon's aspect of it. We help these businesses, we buy shares in them, we support them, we build in them, trying to get them up to scale. And then we take those shares, place it on the blockchain, and then make it accessible to every South African in South Africa. I almost said in the world. But in fact, in the world.
In the world,
If you are South African and you have gone to Australia, you can still invest in this thing.
Exactly.
In order to help South Africa get better so that she can come back. It comes down to how much you put in is how much you get back. You're not going to get millions off of 1,000 rand, but you're going to get a couple of thousands back, possibly even tens of thousands back off 1,000 rand, which you're not going to get out of a savings account or a RA or any of that. Not that those things are bad, just people aren't doing those things because that's a lot longer term, and it's just the reward is so small. When we're talking 840%.
Yeah, that's massive. So, what is that if you put in 1,000 rand today? What would you get after 3 years? At the highest?
Well, 8,400.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus your 1,000 rand.
Yes, which is nuts.
So it's 9,400, yeah.
There's nowhere else that you would get that
Yeah.
kind of... And unless you were in that room with Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you could afford that. So obviously the more you put in, the more you get back. But we've also limited it because we're trying to stay true to access and spreading the wealth and
And
that
fixing
divide,
those problems.
right? So
Yeah.
fixing that divide, we've limited the investment per company to 49,999 rand and 99 cents. But wait, if you call now, no, that's where it stops, just under 50,000, so that we can spread it amongst everybody. Otherwise, a savvy investor that has the access to Mark Zuckerberg's circle
Will go
is
buy
like,
up.
look at all these cool early stage companies available to me right now and just buy it all out. We don't want that to happen, so we're spreading it. The ultimate dream is this. There you get the gardener, he's only got 100 smackaroonies, he puts it out there. Cool, he makes a bit of bucks. Okay, $100 is maybe a bit too little, but let's say on the 1,000 gets back some money. Next one he puts in like, let's say 5,000. We reinvest that entire amount, and then he gets back, tens of thousands, and then does it again. And we're doing it in periods of 3 years, right? Also, this is also per company, so you could spread it across companies. But over a span of 9 years, meaning he makes money, reinvests, makes money, reinvests 3 times, I think the guy would come out with $1 million eventually at that point.
Yeah.
If you actually do the math, you can come out with $1 million rand at the end of 9 years, starting with very little and just reinvesting what you got back. Now, as a gardener doing that, taking the very little that he has and putting it into this, After 9 years, let's say he just had a kid. The kid is 9, turning 10. He's got R1 million in his hands now. How does that change the trajectory of his life and his kid's life at that point? So he'll take a portion of that million, put it towards education, send this kid to best private school, maybe get a college fund going or something, takes the rest and puts it again into the system. Gives it another 9 years, and now he's doing like 100,000 at a time. What comes out at the end of that, it took another 10 years, kids now studying or finished with studies, wants to start a business, father can fund it himself. I mean, imagine like the change we could do. So, if you were like a OC, or like a O, or like a OOC, druk us a knopje there, give us a subscribe, tune us in the comments. Next week we'll be talking about what potholes, maybe car guards, maybe money under couches. You never know. Thank you for coming to the braai. Now see yourselves out.